The auction listing said, unknown origin vessel, Velos asteroid belt, starting bid, 0.5 credits. Kang Do-hyun stared at his screen for a long time. Half a credit was nothing. He spent more than that on his morning coffee. Ships cost thousands, sometimes millions. Even broken ships cost hundreds, but this one cost half a credit. He read the description again. The ship was found drifting near a dead asteroid. No registration. No known species markers. Every company and collector who had tried to claim it before had given up. 3 previous owners had died in accidents. 2 more had simply vanished. The galaxy called it cursed. Do-hyun called it cheap. He placed his bid from his small room on Station 47, a rusting trading post on the edge of Federation space. He was a salvage runner, which meant he flew into dangerous places and brought back things other people did not want to get themselves. It was not a good job. It was not a safe job. But it was his job. The auction ended. He won. Nobody else had bid. You bought what? Nari asked him the next morning. She was sitting in his kitchen, eating his food, as she often did. Nari was his partner in the salvage business. She was also the only person he trusted in this part of space. She had dark hair cut short and eyes that always looked tired. She used to be an engineer in the Federation military before she quit for reasons she never explained. A ship, Do-hyun said. For half a credit. Ships do not cost half a credit. This one did. Nari put down her spoon. What is wrong with it? The listing says unknown origin. Previous owners had bad luck. Bad luck means dead. You know that. Do-hyun shrugged. I need a ship. My old one is falling apart. The engine makes it sound like a dying animal. So you bought a cursed ship from an asteroid belt. It was half a credit, Nari. She stared at him. Then she laughed. It was not a happy laugh. Fine, I am coming with you. Someone needs to make sure you do not die. They flew out 3 days later in Do-hyun's old ship. The journey took 2 weeks. The Velos asteroid belt was far from everything, a place where rocks floated in the darkness and nothing lived. It was the kind of place people went to hide things, or to bury them. They found the ship on the 5th day of searching. It was sitting on a flat asteroid, alone and silent. Do-hyun's first thought was that it was beautiful. His second thought was that it was wrong. The ship was shaped like nothing he had ever seen. It had smooth curves and sharp angles that seemed to change depending on how he looked at them. The metal was dark, almost black, but it reflected the distant stars like a mirror. There were symbols on the hull, writing in a language he did not recognize. The Federation database has no match, Nari said, checking her scanner. No species in recorded history uses these symbols. How old is it? Scanner says. That cannot be right. What? It says the metal is 12,000 years old. Do-hyun felt something cold move through his chest. 12,000 years. The Federation was only 6,000 years old. The oldest known civilization was 8,000 years old. Nothing should be 12,000 years old. We should leave, Nari said quietly. I paid half a credit for this, Do-hyun replied. I am at least going to look inside. The airlock opened when he touched it. That was strange. Old ships did not just open. They needed codes, tools, force. But this one opened for him like it had been waiting. Inside, the ship was clean. Not just clean, but perfect. No dust, no damage. No sign that 12,000 years had passed. The walls were smooth and white. The lights came on as he walked, soft and warm. The air was fresh. This is impossible, Nari whispered behind him. Nothing stays this clean, nothing. They walked through the ship slowly. There were rooms for sleeping, rooms for eating, rooms filled with equipment they did not understand. Everything was sized for humans. The chairs fit them. The doorways were the right height. The controls were at the right level. "Dohyun," Nari said. "This ship was made for people like us. Humans?" "Yes, that makes no sense. Humans have only been in space for 300 years. They reached the central chamber. It was round, with a large chair in the middle, facing a blank wall. Dohyun walked toward the chair without thinking, like something was pulling him. When he touched it, the wall lit up. A woman appeared. She was human, with black hair and dark eyes. She wore a uniform he did not recognize, dark blue with silver marks on the shoulders. She looked tired, but she stood straight and spoke clearly. She spoke in Korean. "If you are seeing this," the woman said, "then humanity has risen again. I am Commander Baek Jeon of the Seakeeper vessel Magangwa. What I am about to tell you will change everything you know." Dohyun could not move. Nari grabbed his arm, her fingers digging in. "This is not possible," she whispered. But the woman kept talking. 12,000 years ago, humanity ruled the stars. We built the gates that let ships jump between worlds. We created the air on 1,000 planets. We made the tools that let species talk to each other. Everything the galaxy uses today, we made." The woman paused. Her eyes seemed to look right at Dohyun. "And then we chose to be forgotten." The recording continued, but Dohyun could not hear it anymore. His heart was beating too loud. His thoughts were spinning too fast. Half a credit. He had paid half a credit for a secret that was 12,000 years old. And now he understood why everyone else had run away. The recording played for 2 hours. Dohyun and Nari sat on the floor of the central chamber and listened. They did not speak. They did not move. They just listened as Commander Baek Jeon explained the true history of the galaxy. 12,000 years ago, humanity had spread across the stars. They were not conquerors. They were builders. They found empty worlds and filled them with air. They found dead rocks and gave them water. They built gates in space that let ships travel between distant stars in seconds. The jump gates. Every species used them. Every species thought they had always been there, but humans had built them. "We created the translation matrix," Jeon said in the recording. "Before us, species could not speak to each other. We made a system that let any language become any other language. We gave it to the galaxy for free." Nari made a small sound. The translation matrix was everywhere. Every ship had it. Every station used it. Without it, the Federation could not exist. Humans had made it. And nobody knew. "We seeded oxygen on 3,000 worlds," Jeon continued. "We found planets that could support life, and we changed their air. We planted forests. We filled oceans. We made dead worlds into living ones." Dohyun thought about Earth. He thought about how humans had always wondered why so many planets had air they could breathe. Scientists called it luck. They called it chance. It was not luck. Humans had made it that way. Then the silence came, Jeon said. Her voice changed. It became heavier, sadder. We do not know what it was. We do not know where it came from. We only know that it wanted to end all life in the galaxy. The recording showed images. Ships burning. Planets dying. Something dark moving between the stars, eating everything it touched. We fought it for 200 years. We lost billions. We lost worlds. We lost everything except our will to survive. The images changed. Human ships gathering. Human weapons firing. Light pushing back against the darkness. We won. But the cost was too high. Jeon looked down. When she looked up again, her eyes were wet. We decided to hide. The weapons we used, the technology we built, it was too dangerous. If other species found it, if the wrong hands took it, the silence might return. Or something worse might happen. The recording showed humans leaving their cities, destroying their records, scattering across the galaxy. We erased ourselves. We hid our ships. We locked our knowledge behind doors that only human hands could open. We went back to our home world and pretended we had never left. Nari was crying. Do-hyun did not notice until he heard her voice. "We forgot," she whispered. "We forgot everything." "That was the plan," Jiyeon said, as if she could hear them. "Humanity would sleep. We would become primitive again. We would let other species rise and build their own civilizations. And when the time was right, when humanity was ready, the Seed Keeper ships would wake." The recording focused on Jiyeon's face. "If you are human, and you are watching this, then the ship has chosen you. It means the galaxy needs us again. It means it is time to remember." The wall showed a map. Thousands of points of light scattered across the galaxy. These are the caches. Hidden stations. Sleeping ships. Weapons that have waited 12,000 years. They are all keyed to human DNA. Only we can open them. Only we can use them. The map zoomed in on one point brighter than the others. This is the primary cache. A ring around a dead star. It holds everything. The complete history. The full technology. The answer to every question. Jiyeon straightened her uniform. "I do not know what the galaxy looks like now. I do not know if other species will welcome humanity's return or fear it. But I know this. We built this galaxy. We saved it. And we have a right to exist in it." The recording ended. The wall went dark. Do-hyun and Nari sat in silence for a long time. "What do we do?" Nari finally asked. Do-hyun did not answer immediately. He was thinking about his life. His small room on Station 47. His broken ship. His job carrying garbage between stars. He was nobody. He had nothing. And now he had a secret that could change everything. "The Federation," he said slowly. "They must know something. Some of this must have leaked over the years. If they know, they have hidden it. Why would they hide it?" Nari looked at him. "Because we are humans, Do-hyun. We are the youngest species in the Federation. Every other race treats us like children. Every other race treats us like children. They give us the worst jobs. They pay us the lowest wages. They tell us we are lucky they let us join it all. And if they found out we built everything they have, they would be afraid." Do-hyun stood up. His legs were shaking, but he made himself walk to the control panel. He touched it, and it lit up under his fingers. "The ship responds to me," he said. "Only me. Human DNA," Nari said. "Like the recording said. I need to copy this." The recording. The map. Everything. And then what? Do-hyun turned to look at her. "I do not know yet. But I know we cannot ignore this. We cannot pretend we did not see it. People will come for us. When they find out what we have, they will come. I know. We could die. I know." Nari stood up. She wiped her eyes and walked to stand beside him. "Then I guess we better be ready." They spent the next 3 days learning the ship. It taught them, in a way. Systems turned on when they needed them. Screens showed instructions they could read. It was like the ship wanted them to understand. On the 4th day, they left the asteroid belt. The Magongwa flew smoothly, faster than anything Do-hyun had ever flown before. The controls felt natural in his hands. "Where are we going?" Nari asked. "Back to Station 47. I need to think. I need to plan. And after that?" Do-hyun looked at the map still glowing on the screen. Thousands of caches. Thousands of secrets. A ring around a dead star holding the truth. "After that," he said, "we find out what humanity really was." Behind them, the stars stretched out forever. Somewhere in that darkness, 12,000 years of history was waiting to be found. They did not even make it back to station 40-7. 3 days into their journey. Nari looked up from her scanner, and her face went pale. "Ships," she said. 20 of them. Federation military. Dahin felt his stomach drop. How did they find us? The auction. Someone must have flagged it. When we actually claimed the ship, they noticed. The communication screen lit up. A face appeared. It was not human. It was Torvax, a senior inspector from the Federation Council. He was tall, with hard shell-like skin and 4 arms. His species, the Valorians, had been part of the Federation since the beginning. They were proud of that. They reminded everyone of that. "Human vessel," Torvax said. His voice was cold. "You will stop your engines and prepare to be boarded." Dahum's hands tightened on the controls. "On what authority?" "On the authority of the Federation Council. The ship you are flying has been marked for historical preservation. It is not private property. I bought it legally. The auction was official. The auction was a mistake. That ship should never have been sold. You will surrender it now." Nari leaned close to Dohyun. "We cannot fight 20 ships. I know. What do we do?" Dohyun thought about the recording. He thought about the caches. He thought about 12,000 years of hidden history. If he gave up the ship, all of that would disappear. The Federation would take it. They would bury it. Humanity would never know the truth. "Torvax," he said slowly, "what do you know about this ship?" The inspector's face changed. Just for a moment. Something flickered in his eyes. Fear, maybe. Or anger. "That is not your concern." "I think it is. I think you know exactly what this ship is. I think you know what it means." Torvax was silent for a long moment. When he spoke again, his voice was different. Quieter. More dangerous. "You have no idea what you are dealing with, human. That ship is older than the Federation. Older than any species alive today. It contains information that could destroy the balance of power in the galaxy. You mean the truth. I mean chaos. I mean war. I mean the end of everything we have built." Dohyun leaned forward. "Everything you have built? Or everything humans built for you?" The words hung in the air. Torvax stared at him through the screen. His 4 hands clenched into fists. "So you have seen the recording?" "Yes." "Then you understand why it cannot be allowed to spread. The galaxy has been at peace for thousands of years. Species work together. They trade. They share. If your kind suddenly claims to have built everything, the peace will end. Because other species are afraid of us. Because other species will not accept being lesser. They will fight. They will try to destroy you before you can reclaim your old power. Billions will die. Is that what you want?" Dohyun did not answer. He looked at Nari. She looked back at him with steady eyes. "The truth does not care what we want," Dohyun said finally. "It is still the truth." Torvax made a sound like grinding rocks. "Then you leave me no choice. All ships, prepare to disable the target vessel. Use minimal force. I want the humans alive." The 20 Federation ships began to move. They spread out, surrounding the Magunghwa from all sides. Weapons powered up. Targeting systems locked on. Nari grabbed the edge of her seat. "Dohyun, I know." He did not know what to do. He was a salvage runner. He flew garbage between stars. He had never been in a real fight in his life, but his hands moved on the controls. Without thinking, without planning, like something was guiding them, the Magunghwa responded. Systems came online that he had not known existed. The ship hummed with power. On his screen, new options appeared. Defense protocols, countermeasures, things he could not even name. "Human detected," a voice said. It came from the ship itself. "Threat identified." activating protective systems. The Federation ships fired, energy being shot toward them from all directions. The beams stopped. They hit something invisible around the Magangwa and disappeared. A shield. A shield made of technology 12,000 years old. Impossible, Torvax shouted through the communication channel. That is impossible. The Magangwa reached out. That was the only way Do-yoon could describe it. The ship reached out with something invisible, and it touched every Federation vessel at once. Their weapons went offline. Their engines stopped. Their lights flickered. "What are you doing?" Torvax demanded. His voice was shaking now. "What is happening?" "I am not doing anything," Do-yoon said. "The ship is protecting itself." "We built those weapons," Nari said softly. She was reading the screens, understanding what she saw. 12,000 years ago, humans built the systems that power Federation ships. The Magangwa knows how to talk to them. It knows how to turn them off. On the screen, Torvax looked terrified. For the first time, Do-yoon saw him clearly. Not as a powerful inspector, not as a member of the ruling species, but as someone facing something much, much bigger than himself. "You were supposed to stay forgotten," Torvax whispered. "You were supposed to stay primitive. We watched you. We studied you. We kept you small and weak and ignorant. And now we know," Do-yoon said. "This will destroy everything. Maybe, or maybe it will finally make things right." Do-yoon entered new coordinates. The Magangwa's engines powered up, stronger than before. The ship was fully awake now, ready. "We are leaving," he told Torvax. "Do not follow us. The Council will hunt you. Every species in the Federation will hunt you. Then they will learn what the recording taught us. Humanity built this galaxy. We saved it once. We can save it again." He ended the communication. The Magangwa jumped. Space folded around them, and they disappeared into the void, leaving 20 powerless Federation ships floating in the darkness. They were running now, running toward an uncertain future. But for the first time in his life, Do-yoon felt like he was running toward something, not away from it. Humanity had been asleep for 12,000 years, thought it was time to wake up. The coordinates took them to the edge of nowhere. It was a frozen moon circling a dying star. The surface was white ice and gray rock. Nothing should have been able to live there. Nothing should have wanted to, but the Magangwa knew where to go. "There," Nari said, pointing at her screen. "Under the ice. The ship is detecting structures. Big ones." Do-yoon guided them down. The ship melted through the ice like it was nothing, carving a tunnel into the frozen ground. Deeper and deeper they went, until the ice turned to rock, and the rock turned to metal. They landed in a cavern that should not have existed. It was huge, big enough to hold 100 ships. The walls were smooth and glowed with soft light. And it was full of people. Humans. Do-hyam could not believe what he was seeing. There were hundreds of them. Men, women, children. They wore simple clothes and watched the Magangwa land with calm eyes. An old woman walked toward them as they stepped out of the ship. She was small, with white hair and a face full of wrinkles. But she stood straight, and her voice was clear. "I am Park Sun-hee," she said. "I am the elder of this colony. We have been waiting for you." "Waiting?" Do-hyun asked. "How did you know we were coming?" "The ships talk to each other. When you woke the Magangwa, every seedkeeper vessel in the galaxy felt it." Sun-hee smiled. "You have started something that cannot be stopped." She led them through the colony. It was bigger than Do-hyun had imagined. There were homes carved into the rock, gardens growing under artificial light, workshops where people built machines with tools he did not recognize. "How long have you been here?" Nari asked. "This colony is 600 years old. We came here to hide, to wait, to remember." "Remember what?" Sunny stopped. She turned to face them. Remember what humanity was. Remember what we did. Remember why we chose to sleep. She took them to a chamber in the center of the colony. Inside was a table covered with maps and papers and small glowing devices. Other people were there, younger than Sunny but still serious, still focused. The recording in your ship told you the basics, Sunny said. But there is more, much more. We have been collecting fragments for generations. Stories, records, pieces of the truth. She touched one of the devices. A hologram appeared above the table, showing the galaxy. 12,000 years ago, humanity controlled all of this. Not through war, not through fear, through building. We gave the galaxy everything it has. The gates, the air, the words they speak. We asked for nothing in return except peace. And then the silence came, Doyen said. Yes, and we won. But winning cost us everything. Our best minds, our strongest warriors, our greatest ships. When it was over, we were broken. And we were afraid. Nari frowned. Afraid of what? Ourselves. Sunhee's voice was heavy. The weapons we built to fight the silence were terrible. They could destroy stars. They could end species. We looked at what we had created, and we were horrified. If those weapons stayed in the galaxy, someone would use them. Maybe us, maybe others. So you hid them. We hid everything. We erased our history. We scattered ourselves across the stars and pretended to be primitive. We let new species rise, new civilizations grow. We watched from the shadows and hoped they would be better than us. But you kept the truth, Dohyun said. In places like this, someone had to remember. Someone had to be ready in case the silence returned. In case humanity was needed again. A young man stepped forward. He was tall, with a serious face. I am Han Jung-woo. I coordinate our networks. Networks? There are other colonies, scattered across the galaxy. Hidden in places nobody would look. A few thousand here, a few hundred there. We have been connecting them, slowly, carefully. When you woke the Magingwa, we reached out to all of them. Nari looked at the hologram. Small lights were appearing across the galaxy. Dozens of them. Then hundreds. How many humans have been hiding? She whispered. More than anyone knows, Jungwoo said. Maybe millions, spread across 1,000 worlds. Living quietly. Waiting. Waiting for what? For someone to wake the ships. For someone to start the signal. For someone like you. Doyen felt dizzy. This morning, he had been a salvage runner. A nobody. Now he was standing in a secret colony, surrounded by humans who had been waiting for 12,000 years. The Federation is coming, he said. They know about the ship. They will hunt us. Let them come, Sunhee said. Her voice was not angry or afraid. It was calm, patient. They have been building their empire on our foundations, using our technology without knowing its source, taking credit for things they did not create. They are afraid, Nari added. The inspector we met, Torvax. He said the galaxy would go to war if they learned the truth. Perhaps. But truth cannot be buried forever. We tried that. We buried ourselves for 12,000 years. And here we are, still human, still alive, still remembering. Sunny walked to the hologram and touched it. The map zoomed in on a single point, brighter than all the others. The primary cache, a ring around a dead star. It holds everything. Our complete history, our full technology, the answers to every question. The recording mentioned it, Doyen said. Your ship holds the cipher, the key that opens all the caches. Without it, the ring stays locked. With it, humanity can reclaim everything we lost. The room was silent. Everyone was looking at Dalian. Why me? He asked. I am nobody. I was just a salvage runner. I bought that ship because it was cheap. Son, he smiled. It was a gentle smile, full of something that looked like hope. The ships do not choose randomly. They choose the ones who are ready. The ones who will not run from the truth. The ones who will do what is right, even when it is hard. How do you know I am that person? Because you are here. Because you did not give the ship to the Federation. Because when you learned who you really were, you wanted to know more. She put her hand on his shoulder. Humanity chose to sleep, Dalian. But sleep must end. The galaxy needs to remember who built it. And you are going to help them remember. Outside the colony, the frozen moon was silent and still. But beneath the ice, humans were waking up. Messages were spraying across the stars. Ships that had slept for thousands of years were opening their eyes. Federation had tried to keep humanity small. They were about to learn how big a mistake that was. The dead star hung in space like a wound in the universe dot around it. A ring of metal stretched for millions of kilometers. It was dark and silent, covered in dust from 12,000 years of waiting. The primary cache. The heart of everything humanity had been. Do-hyun stood on the bridge of the Magonwa and stared at it. Behind him, 47 Seedkeeper ships had gathered. Each one had woken when he activated the cipher. Each one was crewed by humans who had been hiding, waiting, remembering. They are here, Nari said quietly. He did not need to ask who she meant. The Federation Armada appeared on his screen. 300 ships. The largest fleet assembled in 1,000 years. Every major species had sent their best. Valorians, Korthax, Sindari, Melvin, all of them, united by fear. Admiral Torvax led them. His flagship was the biggest ship in the fleet. His voice came through the communication channel, cold and hard. Human vessels, this is your final warning. Surrender the cipher. Deactivate the cache. Return to your worlds and forget everything you have learned. If you do this, no harm will come to you. Do-hyun looked at Nari. She looked back at him with steady eyes. And if we refuse? He asked. Then we will destroy you. Every ship. Every colony. Every human who has touched this forbidden knowledge. The galaxy cannot allow your kind to rise again. Our kind built your galaxy. That is exactly why you cannot be allowed to remember. Do-hyun thought about everything he had learned. 12,000 years ago, humans had given the galaxy everything. They had asked for nothing. They had even erased themselves to keep the peace. And this was how the galaxy repaid them. With fear, with threats, with promises of destruction. He opened a channel to every ship in both fleets. To every station within range. To every world that could hear him. My name is Kang Do-hyun. I am human, and I have something to say. The channel was silent. Everyone was listening. For 300 years, humans have been part of the Federation. We have been given the worst jobs. We have been paid the lowest wages. We have been told we are lucky to be included in all. Young species, everyone called us. Primitive newcomers. He paused. But we are not young. We are the oldest. 12,000 years ago, our ancestors built the jump gates that let your ships travel between stars. They created the translation matrix that lets you speak to each other. They seeded the oxygen on 3,000 worlds so that life could grow. The words poured out of him. He did not know where they came from. They just felt right. We saved this galaxy. Something called the silence came to destroy all life, and we stopped it. We sacrificed billions of our own people. We used weapons so terrible that we were afraid to keep them. And when it was over, we chose to hide. We erased ourselves. We let you build your civilizations on our foundations, never knowing the truth. On his screen, the Federation ships were not moving. They were listening. We did not come back to conquer. We did not come back to rule. We came back because the truth deserves to be known. Because our ancestors deserve to be remembered. Because humanity is not primitive. We are architects. We are builders. We are the ones who made all of this possible. He pointed at the ring around the dead star. This cache holds our history, our technology, our truth. We are going to open it. Not to take revenge, not to start a war, but to remember who we are. Torvax's voice cut through the silence. If you open that cache, we will attack. 300 ships against 47. You will lose. Maybe. But you will not win either. Dawn nodded to Nari. She pressed a series of controls. The cipher activated. The ring around the dead star began to glow. Slowly at first, then brighter and brighter. Energy readings spiked on every scanner in both fleets. Power levels that should not have been possible. Technology that made the Federation's best weapons look like toys. That ring can destroy every ship here, Doyun said calmly. It was built to fight something that wanted to end all life in the galaxy. 300 ships is nothing to it. The Federation fleet stopped completely. On his screen, he could see the fear spreading. Ships that had been ready to fight were now pulling back, waiting, watching. But we are not going to use it as a weapon, he continued. That is not who we are. We built this galaxy to be a place of life, not death. We are not going to change that now. Elder Sunhee's voice came through from another ship. The cache is opening. Full archive is activating. History files, technology blueprints, everything. It is all broadcasting on open channels. The truth spread across the galaxy. Every ship, every station, every world received it. 12,000 years of hidden history, given freely to everyone who wanted to see. For a long moment, nothing happened. The two fleets faced each other in silence. Do-hyun did not know what would come next. War, peace, something in between. Then a single Federation ship broke formation. A small transport, crewed by a species called the Melvin. They were known for being curious, for asking questions that others would not ask. Human vessels, the Melvin captain said. We would like to talk. Another ship followed. Then another. The Sindari. The Korthax. Species that had always treated humans poorly, now reaching out with uncertain hands. What are you doing? Torvax shouted. Return to formation. This is treason. No, the Melvin captain replied. This is truth. And truth changes everything. The Federation fleet fell apart. Not in battle, but in confusion. Ships arguing with each other. Officers questioning orders. Everything that Torvax had held together with fear was crumbling. Nari looked at Do-hyun. What now? He watched the chaos on his screen. He thought about the future. It would not be easy. Some species would accept the truth. Others would fight it. There would be arguments, conflicts, maybe even small wars, but there would also be questions, conversations, understanding. Now, he said, we build again. He opened a channel to everyone. Human and alien. Friend and former enemy. The past is known. The truth is out. What we do next is up to all of us. Humanity does not want to rule. We never did. We just want to exist. To build. To help. If you will work with us, we will work with you. If you will trust us, we will earn that trust. He looked at the ring around the dead star. It was fully awake now, glowing with ancient power. Power that could destroy or create. Power that his ancestors had locked away in fear. We choose to create, he said quietly. We always have. Behind him, 47 Seedkeeper ships waited. Around him, 300 Federation vessels drifted in uncertainty. And across the galaxy, billions of beings were reading the truth for the first time. Humanity had been asleep for 12,000 years. Now they were awake. And the galaxy would never be the same. The story was just beginning.